All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the ESL Cup number 4, the Community Cup, the last Community Cup before the ESL Opens and Majors do begin. I'm here with my good friend Xander the Gamer. How'd you like that first game series, sir?
It was pretty one-sided, but I still enjoyed casting heroes nonetheless, my good friend.
Yeah, it's definitely a treat to see some of these newer teams come in and some of their thought processes. But this is a game that was widely requested. Clairvoyant Gaming going up against the Barrel Boys. And the Barrel Boys actually have some pretty big names under their belt. But who's that on Clairvoyant? Is that the Quibsy? Is that the Toastum Quiznos?
Toastum Quiznos coming out here to show his support for Clairvoyant. They asked him to fill, I believe. And so that is what he is doing today for them. And he is going to be playing out his always fun and enjoyable to watch toasting glory. So
I'm expecting a Chen, to be honest. But here we go.
Yeah.
First pick, first ban coming out of the way of Clairvoyant, which means that it's going to be a Tassadar. And we are, of course, forced into the Abathur, the Cassidon here of Heroes of Newerth, into a first pick Tychus. So, yep, pretty standard stuff. But getting that Tychus is pretty big here for Clairvoyant.
yeah, absolutely. Picking up that Tychus, it's always a really solid first pick. Tassadar's not on the table, unfortunately. So that would usually be the first choice, in my opinion, but it looks like they're going to be picking up Arthas and Falstad next. So what do you think of that pick?
A very strong frontliner with the Arthas. He is usually the big first time. If you got a first pick or a first pick scenario, like in this case, Barrel Boys, of course, they got second pick, but he's still on the table. You take Arthas or you take Tassadar, but Tassadar, however, is going to be the ban here. So if it's not going to be a Tassadar, it's going to be an Arthas. I fully expect to see either a Cheerio or, again, as I said, a Chen to come in, because they do got Quibsy for Clairvoyant. He's very well known for his Chen play. I really do expect to see one of them as going to be the response. Falstad, of course, on the Garden of Terror. A lot of good spots you can use. The Fly, the Bribe is going to come out very handy here for the DPS as well. Some nice big sustain damage, but then the Shock and Awe. Some of those corridors can be very beneficial to linear damage spells like the Shock and Awe. So I like them as first picks. Very standard, but also very safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Falstad is a really nice pickup, especially on this map. I mean, just having the Shock and Awe, like you said, those corridors are going to be great, but having that global presence with him is going to be awesome. And I think Arthas is another great pickup, too, because you can get a lot of really money combos with Howling Blasts in the tight corridors, as you said, too. If it hits in that small area where a lot of people are, you get a lot of good routes, and then you can move right in on the top of the team. So that's a good pickup, I think, for the map that we're playing on. But again, Tychus being picked up is just one of those picks that is just always good, in my opinion. It's always good to have a Tychus around in your lineup. So we'll see how that pans out. But it looks like they have a Nubarak and Chen is their second pickup for Clairvoyant.
It is? Oh, is that what that means?
Yes, a noob
okay.
Chen.
A noob for Chen. Clarity, a noob/Chen pickup. I thought he was just talking to Quibsy.
Yeah, you're a noob Chen, Quibsy.
Okay, yeah, no. I totally misread that. I thought they heard us on stream for somehow in the future. It was just calling Quibsy a noob Chen because I was praising his Chen. But no, you're right. It isn't a Nubarak and a Chen pickup. Quite right, sir. Good eye. As I said, I really did expect that Chen pickup there from the Quibsy, but going with the Anubarak, we've seen this before. It's a big body blocking combo because they have huge character models and we have some very tight spaces here. So we'll look for that jump into the back line, look for the burrow strikes to get in the way of the team lineup here from Barrel Boys, and I really do expect that to do some work here for Clairvoyant.
Yeah, absolutely. Chen, we all know who's going to be playing the Chen. He's going to be so powerful there. But having the Anubarak being able to get in there as well and the Chen together, they're going to put so much pressure on them. And then Tychus following that up is going to be really powerful. But they do get the Tyrael Uther pick for Barrel Boys. So I'll be interested to see how they played that out, too. That's actually pretty solid. But again, they got the heals. They got double tank now on the table. So we do have the damage out there. But I wonder who we'll see next. What do you think is going to come out of that lineup coming from Barrel Boys?
Well, as I said, if it's going to be an Arthas, it's usually followed up by the Tyrael or the Chen in this case. But taking the Anubarak left us with the Chen. These are the top 4 warriors. These are what you pick for your front liners, unless you have some kind of special card up your sleeve, like ESV Wildfire really loves Diablo. Nothing really else that you see in terms of other teams. We did see a Stitches in that first setup, but these are typically the top 4 warriors. And having an Uther on the back of that, Uther and Arthas is a very long time standard combo. You got the Howling Blast and the self heals into Divine Storms and even more heals from the Uther. So I would fully expect to see a Vala if she's left on the table there for Barrel Boys in the end, because it is, Garden of Terror. You got your front line, you got your heals. If it's not good, and there's a Tassadar down, you can't take the Abathur because he's banned out. So in terms of the other side, we need a healer and some kind of bruiser maybe. But it looks like they're actually gonna take their pick. So it is actually gonna be a Brightwing.
Soft heals, but they do have that global presence, which is nice. They did pick that up for their side and counter to that foul stat, I believe. So.
That's also going to be the mobility factor as well as the bribes.
Yep.
And Raynor. So a little bit more of a single target. And, we've been seeing more and more Raynors, Andrew, these days. And why is
I know. That? I really think the strength of Raynor is actually, they've been bringing him out and having that single target damage coming out from him, but he's also able to give, they're using him a lot for like a little bit of attack damage as well, too. Attack speed coming out of the Raynor. And his Banshees are also pretty awesome for damage as well, too. So he's actually, people are finding a lot more use out of him. We saw him being coupled with Atlanta the other day with the Tyrande, too, which actually worked pretty well for them. So that was surprising. But yeah, he's just seeing a lot more. He's seeing a lot more play nowadays. That's why I feel he's you do see him more often. I feel like if you end up getting somebody like a Rhaegar, but I'm not surprised to see him here. What do you think, Jester?
I still fully expect to see a Vala as the last here, but Raynor's been making waves in terms of a single target just drain. Like,
yep.
His single target is almost second to none. I think it actually is second to none. Like, you can't really ask for a better single target setup except for maybe a Nova with Rewind. But still, level 16, you can't really delete people out early like you can with Raynor. I remember watching SMG versus Glorious. It was ZPs on Arthas up against Arthalon on Raynor, and Raynor took him to town. 2 kills in 5 minutes of the game. Like, not even just 5 minutes, just the first 5 minutes, Raynor took home 2 kills. It's actually very insane when played properly. And these guys, I suspect, are going to be, going for that single target. So for the last pickup here, again, we got a big beefy line. We got the Arthas, we got the Tyrael, and the Uther. Having a Raynor to kind of start chunking down that front line, it's a fantastic option. Of course, you got the Tychus in the back with the Odin as well. Ridiculous kind of comp setup. I still fully expect to see a Vala as the last pickup here, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vala coming out here as their last pick, getting that damage in there too. And she's got pretty much, yep, there it is. The Vala coming out here as the last pickup, I believe, for Team Barrel Boys. But yeah, they're going to have that single target damage coming out with the Raynor. That's going to be really strong. They do have a pretty beefy front line, as you said. So if anyone gets in there, even if Tyrael does the Judgment in there, that Raynor is going to be able to pick him off so quickly. And they're going to need to, they're going to be looking for some way to make up for the fact that he is not, they're down somebody already. So it's going to be really strong, I think, dealing with what kind of pressure they got coming from Barrel Boys.
Well, we have ourselves our teams ready to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 of this best of 3 into, this is already semis. Yeah, it is semis, yeah. Clairvoyant Gaming and Barrel Boys. On the flip side, it's going to be Dream State and ESV Conflux, and very likely we'll figure out who's winning that game into the finals. But Garden of Terror and these teams, it's looking good for Clairvoyant. I can't really discount Barrel Boys, though. They have a very solid comp for this, but Toastum Quiznos has a lot of hype under him as well. I mean, that Quibsy Chen is... If they can deal with the Quibsy Chen, or if they can deal with the Anubarak, if you can deal with any of the front line here, and as you said, we do have soft heals with the Brightwing, not exactly the big front-loaded things, I think we have a really good chance here for Barrel Boys. But if they can't deal with it, and that back line gets wrecked by those big divers, I think we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I do believe Shane Gutscher saying in chat, the poor man's bloodlust coming out of Raynor, but I kind of would agree. It's like a lighter version of that bloodlust, and the single target damage is second to none, as you said too. So he's got a decent actually got a decent amount of use coming out of that out of his kit there. But it looks like we have over here on the left side of the map for Clairvoyant Gaming, we have Atlanta on the Chen, we have Quibsy on the Tychus. Well, I'm surprised to see that. Echo on the Anubarak, we have bottom lane, we have Spanker on the Raynor, and in top lane we have Proteges on the Brightwing. Who do we have on the right side?
Barrel Boys wins. It's not a Chen. It's not a Quibsy Chen. Barrel Boys wins.
Everything's out the window. They lose.
A lot of names that we've seen in solo queue, but my first time seeing them together. Blinks on the Vala, Trummel on the Falstead, Phoenix on the Arthas. And with the McIntyre there, with the Tyrael, that's actually a really interesting position for them to be, level 1, looking for a pick. And then, of course, with the Uther into the bottom, it's going to be the Liquid. First level talents coming in, Brightwing and the Falstad with the Brimes looks to be more of a multi-shot Vala. Chen with the Deadly Strike, and armor-piercing rounds coming out for the Overkill on top of Tychus. It's one of two things for Tychus. It's going to be the armor-piercing, or it's going to be into the grenade build. We have to see if he goes Melting Point a little bit later. Nothing really out of the ordinary, though. A lot of very standard stuff. But these early Giants does not feel standard at all.
Yeah, picking up Giants is that's really early. Again, too, look, Phoenix taking a lot of damage for it, too. McIntyre taking a little bit as well. And so they're going to get some Giants out there. Going to start trying to put some pressure on in mid lane. It looks like up in top lane, Trummel, though, taking a lot of shots here from Proteges and Atlanta. Echo there to support as best he can. Bottom lane, we have Liquid and Spanker just kind of going at it. But, yeah, that's pretty early Siege Giants, Jester. It's surprising to see them coming out that quickly. And we'll see how much damage they're able to do.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be much with Quibsy on top of him right there. Seeds are out, though, so I understand the timing. The timing is like, if you're going to go for seeds, we're going to punish your lane, right? And that's exactly it. You see Tychus, he actually has to come down a little bit because of the pressure. And this is actually very interesting. Barrel Boys went bottom, so they're looking to deny the bottom seeds 100% here in Clairvoyant. That's actually going to pay off pretty big for them because they should be able to actually grab this entire camp.
Yeah, it looks like they're able to pick up that entire bottom camp, though. As you said, though, trying to punish the lane with those Siege Giants. Unfortunately, I just think that the Siege Giants' health is too low that early on. They're able to be picked off really quickly, but it looks like Proteges here. McIntyre throwing down the Eldru and trying to get right behind him, putting a lot of damage in there, and Proteges is going to be the first death here. Barrel Boys taking that first kill. They're going to go in on top of this Shambler. But will they be able to get enough seeds out of here before there's a retaliation from Clairvoyant? But Clairvoyant actually going to start making their way down towards the bottom Shambler. So they're just going to trade off here. 51 seeds right now for Barrel Boys, 30 for Clairvoyant, and it looks like they're just kind of trading off here like we usually see in this first night phase.
It's going to be like right under. It's going to be like 90-something seeds. 90 on the dot. Not 90. Quite enough because they didn't do anything to this bottom Shambler, and that's exactly why you see Clairvoyant going for it as quick as they can. They want to deny this. If they do pick up all these seeds, and it looks like they will actually go even. 90
to 90.
And that's because they didn't hit any of the Shambler down here when they were down here. They instead opted to go top. Now, they got themselves a kill for it. Believe it or not, though, Barrel Boys, because they weren't soaking at all, and they were doing that 5-man roaming, Clairvoyant does come ahead with even number seeds in terms of levels.
Yep. Even number of seeds, and they also are now a little bit ahead in the level game, and it looks like Echo and Atlanta are going to be going for this bottom night camp as the bottom Siege Giants are taken by Phoenix and McIntyre. They're going to be moving themselves towards the middle. I just got to say, Phoenix and McIntyre sounds like a company that, like, I would invest money into. They sound really professional. Phoenix and McIntyre, we're going to be your lawyers here today. It looks like Trummel going to be coming in there as well to help them grab at those offensive Siege Giants as well, and the night camp going down for Clairvoyant. So, again, they're just kind of picking up camps right now in the downtime. Quibsy by himself, though, trying to get a lot of damage in there on Blinks, but they're going to be able to take him out for it. There is going to be another kill going to Barrel Boys. But again, this is Heroes of the Storm. These kills are great, but if they're not able to continue making up ground on the rest of the map in these objectives, they will suffer for it, because right now they're almost a level down. And they are picking up some camps, but they do need to be careful that they stay on top of that, and they're staying in lane, getting as much XP as they can. So,
and Trummel, as you can see, is just going to fly immediately mid to try to pick up this creep wave. Blinks should be able to take over. The bribes have actually come out very nicely here for Trummel as well, been able to keep up a lot of the pressure. And a lot of these creeps are going to go red, which means that, yeah, they have to, Clairvoyant is a little bit more on the back foot in terms of their Merc pressure, but coming in, they are still ahead in terms of levels. That lead is definitely shrunk. Liquid is not going to drop, which means he's not going to be contributing to that lead. We should have seeds, though, fairly soon. That's going to be leading us into some Shambler play.
That nighttime going to be coming up relatively soon, and we know that these teams will be able to get a Terror, and it'll be some Terror-on-Terror action. No doubt in my mind we'll be seeing that. It's like Spanker down here, though. Trummel moving in towards Quibsy. Quibsy trying to put down as much damage as he can. Atlanta there to support. Looks like Trummel's by himself. No barrel roll out of there, and he will go down. First kill going to Clairvoyant. Clairvoyant now with still a little margin of a lead here ahead in the levels from Barrel Boys, but they're going to pick up their first kill and push themselves towards mid lane.
Still looking for that notification for seeds. Spanker and Blink's going to go a little bit head-to-head there. McIntyre has actually been pushing up top quite a bit. You know, and again, we do have Shambler play going to be coming in fairly soon. Atlanta going to come up here and looking for the big combos here, but we do have, of course, the might of Eldrin, and he will be able to dodge out of that. If we can get some gates in the next few moments, we're going to have Shamblers that can just walk into lanes with flower pots, don't have to deal with gates whatsoever. And that could lead into some actually massive damage on both sides of things. But we do have now level 10 for Clairvoyant. They are going to be having that little bit of an advantage. Here comes the seeds now, 20 seconds or so. And in terms of the ults, Locust, Odin's, Rainers, Storm, Earth, and Fire. Brightwing is very likely to take Emerald Wind, I want to say. But what's going on there?
It might happen. It looks like McIntyre, though, caught here in the middle. Looks like Quibsy, though, going to be caught out, taking a lot of damage down. He goes. Phoenix here, though, looks like there's going to be support from Trummel and Liquid coming in here. There's a nice stun coming in from Liquid. Atlanta will be popping the Panda Pals, turning around on Trummel. Trummel now by himself, but he stayed both. A lot of Barrel Boys keeping a ton of health here. They're going to actually push them out pretty well here and pick up another kill on top of Quibsy. So Barrel Boys actually doing a really good job contesting in these team fights and staying alive and doing as much as they can. And there goes the Chen as well. So they're going to pick up 2 kills in that. And they're also going to have an opening here to pick up as many seeds as they can. But if you look, it looks like Clairvoyant making up that ground time while they were fighting to pick up seeds. They will be able to pick up a Terror now, but it's only going to be a matter of time before there it is, the Terror for Barrel Boys as well.
It was actually a really good engage there from Barrel Boys because I kind of came a little bit late into it because of the level 10s, and there's the rest of the level 10s. It was actually Blink Heal taken out. But you saw the strike from Vala, Shock and Awe combo as well there from Phoenix, Army of the Dead, Judgment, and Divine Storm. Nothing really strange out of this either. But taking out Quibsy before he could even Odin, that was pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually going to pan out really well for them. Being able to get him out, they were able to get that team fight to go in their favor. Looks like Atlanta, though, here inside of that Terror. He's taking a lot of damage. The Howling Blast goes down and keeps him in place, but there's a seed going down. McIntyre now moving up in front of him. Both teams with Terrors trying to do as much as they can to put pressure on the opposite team, but it looks like it's going to be swinging in the direction against Barrel Boys. Looks like Atlanta making his way towards the wall, but he's already at half health, as is McIntyre. So I don't know if a lot of damage is going to be going in on top of these structures from these plant terrors in this first round. They're going to be just pushing in this wall as much as they can.
And it's always interesting to see Shambler fights going back and forth. Low hit points on both sides. Atlanta's still kind of winning out a little bit. There goes the gate as well. Howling Blast not going to connect on top of Atlanta. Now Spanker is actually starting to really chunk down McIntyre. But, oh, Phoenix is going to get caught, but that's not going to be any kind of big follow-up. We do have all the ults ready to go, except Tychus. Of course, he does already use that. Odin, they're looking for this engage, Xander, but they're so hesitant. They just want to kind of use the timers at this point and just keep flower potting each other.
Both teams, they're just teetering on the edge right now. Looks like McIntyre's out of that plant, but it's only going to be 10 seconds less than that right now before Atlanta's out of there as well, so he might try to make as much use as he can. They're going to actually get the wall and the well out of this, but they're not going to be able to touch that fort. The most important structure sitting right there, and there he goes. Atlanta coming out of that. All of Team Barrel Boys is going to converge on top of him. There's a Howling Blast doing a lot of damage. Will he be able to get out his Panda Pals? Yes, he does. In the last second, he was poisoned, but he's able to get out of it. Blinks now. No more strafe in the tank. He's going to be having to try to move away, but he's going to try to roll away. Phoenix going down. Looks like Vala will go down as well with nothing in the tank. It looks like most of Clairvoyant's going to stay up, and they're going to continue pushing forward as hard as they can. They were able to push that team fight exactly the way they wanted to. The engage coming mostly from Barrel Boys, but did not go in their favor, as the support is not going to go down as well.
It was a very interesting decision to try, as we see Falstad die there for the the 3 kills. It's 4 kills, 4 going back and forth, but still the pressure, very, very big pressure coming out for Clairvoyant because of that last fight. And all the mercs are up, which means it's going to have a little bit of a field day. You see Atlanta starting them already. But, it's always risky. If you put all of your eggs in trying to kill the Chen before he can actually get out of it, and you saw, we had Envenoms, we had stuns, the Divine Storm even popped out, trying to kill him before he can pop those Panda Pals. It's a big risk. If you don't do it, you are now down so many abilities, and he's just going to get that free second life, not die, and now you're in that position of just, you don't have anything really to react, and he's going to body block you, and the team's going to clean up. It's always very risky. I thought they had a very good chance of doing it. And had that fight actually happened 30 seconds later, we didn't have these level 13 talents. That was a level 12 to level 12 fight. Look at the Relentless coming in. You can't do that anymore. Now with Relentless on Chen as well as Tychus, you're not going to be able to blow them up before they are able to get off those second life ventures.
It's not going to happen. And I want to just point and stress out how close Atlanta was to death there. I'm pretty sure he had an Envenom on top of him as well. He was ticking away. He was so close, but he got out of it just in the nick of time. And that's, as you said, if you invest everything into trying to take down that Chen, and it does not pay off, you've lost a lot. And that Chen is going to turn around and put a lot of pressure on top of you. And that's exactly what Atlanta did. And that is actually what panned out really well for Clairvoyant in that fight. And now they have so much pressure going in on this map. This bottom lane pushed all the way into the inner wall, almost losing that one of those towers as well. Mid lane, though, there is some counter pressure coming from Siege Giants. Top lane, to be fair, it looks like in top lane, we do see Barrel Boys pushing in with that Night Camp in the top. They're going to get the top fort as well, but it's not an equal fight right now for Barrel Boys against Team Clairvoyant in terms of push. So we'll see what they're able to do to make up for that.
Well, all ults are ready to go. Atlanta, they're in the forefront. Echo coming in. That's going to be the shotgun on top of the Echo. They might be able to take down Echo, and they will. But again, like they definitely did not throw it all on top of Atlanta. You can see now the Panda Pals coming up. Protege with the Ice Block in the back. He's going to drop. Quibsy now is going to have to pop out that Odin, but he's likely not to live. Liquid, however, is going to actually be the focus target, and now Material's going to be dropping as well. So Team Ghost coming in. Phoenix is not going to live through this, and believe it or not, it is going to be a team wipe. Quibsy and Atlanta, the sole survivors out of that one, but I had a good moment there. I was like, Barrel Boys actually taking out Echo and the Hewer in very short order, could actually take this fight and come back into this for the lead. But by the end of it all, Quibsy and the Pandas are just too much for them to handle.
Yeah. I really feel like what ended up happening is that they got really aggressive. They were really excited about it. They kind of lost focus because they saw the kills coming in. So they lost focus on top of the Chen, who was pretty low, but he then popped Panda Pals. Once that was out there, Quibsy found his opening and just used the Odin, and they turned it around as they had gotten overly aggressive, and they were pretty low. So they turned around, and with the Odin, he literally toasted them. He just toasted everybody and then walked away. A 5-for-3 exchange, I believe, in that fight, and it actually went really well for them. The timings of using their heroics is really well.
There's the level 16 talent coming in now. Raynor goes actually Executioner, not Berserk. Kind of curious, but you know, between the Chen slows and the Nubarak stuns, they're very confident on that. Quibsy, very confident that he's dead at this point. Here comes the plant horde from the top, Atlanta. He did actually go top looking to deny the seeds. Now he's going to be down here looking to deny the rest of Barrel Boys. But the Shotgun not really doing a big dent here up against Clairvoyant. Spanker actually going to be really low. Does get caught out there by Phoenix. Good heals there from the Protege, though. And you can see Trummel, he's actually going to get chased off here by Atlanta. One more auto attack, and it will be enough for Atlanta. Trummel really low hit points. McIntyre in the back as well. Phoenix, skin of his teeth, blinks. Not looking so healthy here at all. The hit point bars are very much in favor of Clairvoyant. You see, it will be the Uther actually dropping. Again, Team Ghost is something else to notice here. We got the Uther Ghost, we got the Tyrael Ghost, and they still didn't win that team fight. They definitely didn't win this one. And now Atlanta pushing up with this pressure is going to be this gate, if not this keep.
Yeah, it's really starting to swing in favor of Clairvoyant at this point. They're really just connecting. Those team fights are going really well for them. The power of their combos as well with the people who they're playing in this game is working out really well for them. They're doing a great job and using Panda Pals and the Odin in such a way that they're able to take most of these fights, and a lot of the damage that's happening early on is just completely mitigated. How they're using it. Oh, it looks like they need to be careful though. Trummel here taking a lot of damage. There is some stuns going out there, but Trummel, the pressure from Atlanta, down he goes, getting body blocked away, not allowed to move away, and it looks like down here all of Clairvoyant's going to be trying to pick up as much as they can and keep an eye on Blinks in that terror.
Man, that Chen, like that, the combination attack and the root kick, like this is a very common Chen kind of build. You know, increase the damage of the kick, flying kick for the root, and then the combination attack on top of it.
Ooh.
Falstead will not live through that.
Be careful though, there's a judgment on top of Quibsy, but Quibsy's going to back off here. Looks like they're going to turn around and try to go in on Atlanta, but will that pan out for them? Pretty sure he does have Panda Pals in the tank. Looks like there's Blinks though on top of that, and they will lose the Tyrael. Atlanta's still very low. Down he goes, stunned him and kept him out of the Panda Pals at the last second. It's like Blinks though by himself now with only Liquid to support him, but Liquid doesn't have that much left in his tank, and Blinks is out of the terror. He's got to walk himself away, and Liquid might go down here, but he doesn't. He's going to say, oh, when he tried to use the overpower the last second to get him, but it's not going to pan out, but he will be able to get a tower out of that. Again, these engagements, that was a really solid stun coming out of the Uther though there. He was able to get him at the last second right before he used it, and they got the damage through and killed him. Even with the Relentless, he was actually able to get him.
Quibsy, he's really trying to go to town here on top of Trummel. That's not going to be a very healthy hit point Odin when he comes out of that, but Protege's got his back. You saw Blinks as well. He tried to get killed with the strafe, but he got polymorphed. And with that Shambler, we actually denied a lot of seeds here to Barrel Boys, which means we have another Shambler in the bank here of Clairvoyant. You can probably expect Atlanta to jump in it as soon as he spawns, but these fights not looking so good with Barrel Boys. I'm not even, because of the staggered death timers as well, the positioning hasn't been perfect. And the fact that we had that Chandler in the bank from Barrel Boys, as soon as they lost that last team fight, they basically had to use the Terror to try to go out and get the seeds that were being denied. So the positioning and these staggered deaths not really working out very well for the Barrels so far, and they haven't really won a team fight. They're still putting up kills, which is good. They're still in this. It's not a lost game. But the later that this goes, the more powerful these Shamblers get, which means Seeds is going to be king.
Protege is able to get himself out of there very quickly with a blink, but he's not going to be able to keep himself up. It looks like Blink's going to be thrown in the strafe. It's not going to do really that much damage. Atlanta moving forward now on top of Trummel, trying to stun them out with the Terror, but they are going to lose the Rainer. They're down 1 now. Quipsy moving forward. Ultis, I believe, are many ultis down right now. They need to be careful. Teetering on the edge here, pushing forward towards Phoenix, though. They do have Atlanta sitting in there in the tank that he is as a plant Terror. And Trummel, though, back here by himself, does have the barrel roll, going to be able to move away. Quipsy now backing off here. Protege is there to try to support him, but he might get caught here. No, it looks like Atlanta's going to come down and draw a lot of their focus. Trummel throwing down to shock and all, but really doesn't connect on that much. It looks like they're going to lose their Valsat. Link's so close. He needs to be so careful. Down he goes. Liquid not able to support him just at the last second, throwing out that hammer, but it's not going to be enough to heal him, keep him alive. Liquid now fighting for his life as Phoenix has to make his way up and away from the rest of this fight. And this is turning around right now for Clairvoyant.
Oh, if Liquid had that sprint, he's he's counting down that cooldown. He's just like,
oh yeah,
sprint. Those auto attacks coming out from Atlanta, 600 a shot. Just absolutely wrecked out Trummel, absolutely wrecked out the Blinks. They eventually were able to chase down the Neo. Now again, they're putting up this keep pressure. 13 seconds left in the Shambler and 34 seeds in the bank means that one can. Just the big Shambler by itself will be almost enough for the seeds next round. So you can almost guarantee at this point that unless there's a big team fight, Clairvoyance is going to have another Shambler on the next night. And they did all that without Spanker, by the way.
Yeah. They did all of that without one of their key players in there in the mix with them. Looking at the level 20, which is being picked up by Clairvoyant early here.
What is this? What did Chen go?
Chen actually picking up a Bolt of the Storm to get himself in and out pretty quick. I mean, wow.
My goodness. All right, so yeah, let's see if we can capitalize on that. Atlanta and crew. Echo's actually going to drop really low. You see the overdrive there on top of Trummel as he's trying to get off those kills. But again, Atlanta in the back, you're not going to be able to deal with a Panda in the back as a squishy DPS. Trummel's already going to go down. Atlanta going to come out looking for the kill on top of Phoenix now, or at least the root, so that Quibsy and Spank can do work. Lynx, as you saw, just got immediately jumped as soon as Trummel went down, had to go right into the back. Still, actually, I want to say has his strafe, but that's actually going to be a lie. He doesn't. Still, Atlanta putting up the big pressure. They saved out Echo. They didn't get any kills for it, and Barrel Boys loses 2, maybe even this fort on top of that, because the re-engage is now about to happen, but it's 3 on 5, Xander.
I mean, unfortunately for them right now, too, they haven't even hit 20. So they're still fighting an uphill battle, not having those 20 abilities. But yeah, as you said, Atlanta being able to blink back there and stay on top of that lane, or even continuing to pressure somebody, just makes them even more scary than he already is. I'm pretty sure this is going to be game here. Jester, game number 1, probably going to go to Clairvoyant here at the end. They got to that one point in the game. Those team fights started to go exactly the way they wanted them to, and they monopolized on it. They turned it around. They even lost, as you said. They didn't have Spanker in some of those fights, and they were still able to turn it around and win, I believe, 4v5s against Barrel Boys here. So Clairvoyant taking a pretty solid lead there. Not a dominating lead, but a pretty solid lead in that fight, in that game later on, and winning game number 1 of this best of 3. What did you think, Jester?
It was definitely a game of games right there. Very, definitely a lot closer in their first set. No offense to Dead Gaming or Keep Gaming, but there was definitely a very big, evident rift. Here, though, a lot closer. I really liked how the play from both sides, and yeah, it did go back and forth a little bit more there in the early game, but the race to 10 worked out better for Clairvoyant. Even though that at 10 they lost out the Tychus before the Odin and they lost that fight, they're able to just do so much more with their seeds, with the denies, and they kept up the pressure, and eventually, the forts and the keeps and the pressure and the fights, and putting all of your eggs into the Chen basket sometimes just doesn't pay off, and Clairvoyant played it extremely well.
Yeah, Clairvoyant really just showing a dominating lead there in the end. But that's going to be game number 1, going to Clairvoyant, but this is a best of 3. So we do have another set of games here between both of these teams. I am Xander the Gamer. This is my good friend FourCourtJester, and we'll be right back with more games.